Hi, everyone. We are here with attorney Caitlyn Fletcher today, a little bit different. So today we're going to learn about Caitlyn. She's one of our associate attorneys, a really awesome attorney. If I do say so myself, I hear nothing but good things about her from our clients. So we're just going to learn a little bit about her, kind of why she became an attorney, what are her favorite things, what are her least favorite things, and where she really sees herself in the future. So Caitlyn, why don't you give us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so hi, she already introduced me, Caitlyn Fletcher. I have been practicing now for, let's see, 6.5-ish years. The entire time has all been with family law. I did not know I wanted to be an attorney when I started college. I actually really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I thought, at the time I kind of liked CSI. I thought that would be a cool field to get into. So I studied criminology at first. And then throughout that, I took a night class that dealt with law. So that's kind of where my interest peaked, was during that class, and decided, I think it's something that I could do, and decided I wanted to continue with it. Started law school out in California. Did my first year out there and then transferred out here to Massachusetts to finish up. Throughout law school, the one thing I told myself was, I will not go into family law. There were a number of reasons why, but it wasn't something I thought I wanted to get into at that time. So then come graduation from law school, studied for the bar, passed the bar, then student loans were becoming due. So I decided it was probably time to actually look for a job. And the first job that I got happened to be at a family law firm. I started out as a kind of like assistant paralegal type work, and then moved up and became an associate attorney there. And then as I started doing the work, I became passionate about it and realized that it is something that I did like to do. I felt I was good at, and I liked being able to kind of help people through what is arguably one of the most difficult times in their life. And so since then, I've kind of just continued along that path with family law.
Cool. So like when you were in college, did you want to do like more criminal stuff, or?
Not even criminal law stuff. It was just like criminal investigation type stuff. Like I thought that would be something that would be interesting or cool. In law school, I actually was leaning more towards thinking I wanted to do like corporate work, be like a corporate attorney. And then just hearing more people talk about that and the long 80-hour weeks and all of that, that really wasn't something that continued to pique my interest as time went on.
Yeah, I used to work at a corporate law office in Boston, and it was a lot different than family law for sure. I studied criminology too, but corporate's definitely a different world.
And in law school, I went to Northeastern, and part of their program is you do quarters. So 4 quarters out of the year, 2 of the quarters you have to do internships, and then the other 2 you're in school. So I had the opportunity to work at 4 different types of like legal entities. One was I worked as for a judge in Boston, and I worked at a real estate firm, and I worked for National Grid in one of their corporate locations, and I worked for a nonprofit. So I got to kind of see many different areas, none of those being family law, but just kind of got the experience. And through there, kind of realized the corporate world wasn't really where I wanted to go.
That's fair. I can definitely see that. What's your favorite part about, being a lawyer in family law, like about what you do now day to day? What's your favorite part?
My favorite part is probably just knowing that in a majority of the cases, at the end of the day, we're able to help someone through what's one of the most difficult times in their lives. Being able to have that skill set to kind of help people through these times. I mean, there are some attorneys, and I've worked with attorneys before, who look at this as being it's just a job. Our job is all about just what's written on the papers, showing up in front of the judge to argue the case, but there's really a lot more to the job. I don't know how many times a day I'm on the phone with clients just to kind of listen to them and kind of talk them through or talk through what their issues are and kind of help them overcome the problem. So there's kind of a like therapeutic aspect to our jobs, or at least I feel like what we do at our firm specifically that kind of sets us apart from many other firms that I've had experience with and worked at. And I mean, the favorite part to me is knowing that I can help these people who need help through these times in their lives.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely, I do think that we are a lot different than other firms. People that I talk to say it, and I know that kind of the way that we structure things is definitely different. So, obviously we really care about who the person is through the entire process. So, I can definitely see that. Now, what's your least favorite part?
Least favorite. That's a tough one. So I like most aspects of my job. I would say my least favorite is having to talk to people about money and track down money. That's the worst. Outside of that, least favorite, probably dealing with certain other attorneys. And when we can see injustices happening and then just not being able to do anything about it because of the constraints of the legal system. I mean, right now, COVID in general has caused so many issues that we normally wouldn't go through and has impacted so many cases. And the worst part, and I guess right now it's just situational, is just really not having a recourse and having to tell clients the disappointing news of, well, we're moving your case forward as best we can. And so I would say that right now is probably my least favorite aspect, which hopefully will resolve itself in the near future. And then that won't be an issue any longer.
Yeah. Okay. Before we go into like where you see yourself in 10 years or like what the future holds, what is one interesting fact about you that has nothing to do with like law and like being a lawyer? What's something that no one really kind of knows about you out in the client or potential client world?
Interesting fact. So and maybe this will go into a couple, but I was born in New England in Massachusetts, but I grew up all over the rest of the United States. I spent most of my time when I was younger in New Mexico, grew up there. Then right before high school, I went out to California and came back. In New Mexico, one of the big hobbies that I picked up primarily because my dad was hunting. So that's not something a lot of people know. And I think you can kind of see from the background of the room I'm sitting in right now, that kind of shows a little bit of that. But I think that's something that when people hear that about me, it's surprising, I guess, or they don't expect to hear that about me.
Cool. That's really cool. You've kind of been like all over the place as far as like the country. So you've seen so many different areas, and that's like the goal is to travel. So
it was an experience I wouldn't give up for anything. It really was just amazing to grow up kind of in different areas of the country, see different areas, and just exposed me to a lot of things that, I mean, even my own children here haven't been exposed to yet.
Mm-hmm. Are you planning on taking them to all those places that you grew up so they know?
California, my family and stuff, my parents are still out there, so we go out there. But yes, at some point I'd like to kind of take them out to New Mexico and just see other areas of the country.
That would be a lot of fun. Okay, so now where do you see yourself in 10 years, both professionally and personally?
Okay, so professionally, obviously still practicing family law. I don't really intend to stray outside of that. I've been becoming more interested recently in like estate drafting types of things. So I've been trying to just kind of take some like educational classes on that and learning more about that, just as something that I can offer to more clients. I think it kind of lends itself well with what we do with family law, because I mean, we're helping people through this time in their lives that will completely change the course of their lives. And this is something that I think is kind of an afterthought, but very important. At the same time, I've been taking a lot of courses recently on mediation and parenting coordination. So I'm waiting now on applications for like to become a guardian ad litem and a parenting coordinator, which I think I would really like to get involved in. Again, is something more to offer, and just another way that I can help not just individual clients, but just families in general moving forward. So I mean, 10 years, I still want to be practicing family law, but just kind of have more that I'm able to help clients with kind of all around in there.
That'd be awesome. Really like expand your portfolio of what you can do. That'd be cool.
And I'm actually in the process, I finished another course for divorce financial analysis. So once I have to take a test, and then I'll get certified and all that other stuff, but it'll just be another kind of area to help clients kind of delve deeper into the financial aspects of their divorce cases, which again, most attorneys have a basic knowledge of, but just want to really make sure that we also kind of have a specialization in that, and know maybe just a little bit extra that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because, obviously I think divorces are like one of the most expensive costs in the United States. So, having someone who knows that extra knowledge of how to really prepare and plan and like figure all the financial stuff out is definitely a bonus on top of everything. What about personally?
Personally, still living out here in New England. I have three kids. I have one who just became a teenager. So yeah, teenager. And then I have two little ones, one that just turned a year and one that's 3. So, I mean, 10 years, my focus will still be primarily on that. And like it is now, all my free time, that's where it goes. But personally, still just living here somewhere. I mean, we're looking to kind of move in the near future, get some more land, just have more room to explore and stuff. So
that's awesome. Well, I think, like I mentioned, like you're an amazing attorney. I hear nothing but great things about you, both with the way that you help people through their problems, as well as like professionally and being an attorney. And, if anybody's watching who wants a will drafted or estate stuff, Caitlyn is your go-to. So if you call us, she's going to be your attorney. So, and definitely everything else that you said, becoming a GAL and the financials and stuff like that, I think, that just really makes you a game changer in the realm of the type of attorney we have. So thank you for wanting to, further yourself to benefit all of our future clients. That's definitely awesome. Great. All right. Well, I think I have, I kind of asked all of my questions. Is there anything else that you want to say or go over or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you have any other questions for me, or I covered it. I had said previously I'd worked for another family law firm, and one thing that struck me about coming to this firm in particular was just about the kind of the attention and the focus we had put on clients. And I'm not saying this because I'm biased, but anyone I talk to, including like my family and things like that, I mean, it's just been an amazing experience for me. And I think we kind of set ourselves apart from what people normally think of. Like when you hear people talk about attorneys, they don't always have the best things to say about attorneys. And I do tend to hear different when I hear from clients about us in particular, just because of the kind of focus we put on clients and cases. And I think that does set us apart from a lot of firms that I've, like I said, worked at, had experience with. So I'm certainly happy to continue to be a member of the team here, and continue to plan to do so, and hope to be able to provide much more assistance and help moving forward.
I did have one more question for you before we go. What is the craziest thing that you've seen in the world of family law? Like the most mind-boggling thing?
You're putting me on the spot. It's tough to say right now. I wish I could prepare for this question. The only one that's jumping to mind is when I've had a case previously, and it was a divorce, and parties were arguing about just where they were going to live, and the house was separated to where one could have part of the house, another could have the other, and they weren't supposed to go into their other respective areas. And one of the people had started complaining that, well, they thought the other party was coming into their areas, kind of smelling like perfume or cologne, and stuff was just moved and missing. So in the world these days, there's these lovely little things called cameras that people are putting in a lot of areas. And so we went before the judge and said, oh, the other party's violating this order. And they, of course, said, no, that's not true. It could never happen. So we're like, okay, well, we have video of it. And the judge is sitting there, okay, so took us back into chambers, had us plug in the flash drive, and there's the video of other party coming in, taking stuff, spraying pillows with perfume, and actually walked up at one point, looked like directly into the camera, couldn't tell it was a camera, and walked through. So I mean, that's the one that's jumping out right now. Not really crazy, but just, I mean, it shows you kind of what people do and what people will try and get away with.
Yeah.
I've had other cases, not me personally, but at firms I've worked with and other people who were involved, and houses filled with so much stuff that you couldn't barely walk through. And when they finally ended up cleaning out the case, well, one of the dogs had gone missing months before, and well, there it was after they had moved out of the property. So not a nice story, but that would be maybe another one of probably up there with.
Family law can get that crazy. Like something like that happening. Oh boy, that's sad. Oof. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I know it was short notice, but I'm glad that everybody was able to learn a little bit about you. And, you know, if everyone loved learning about Caitlyn and you want her to help you with your family law problems in Massachusetts, call our office and we can schedule something with Caitlyn. And she also does wills and trusts. So, you know, so thank you again. And I guess we'll wrap it up here.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks. Bye.